Everyone, this is Denise Levy. I'm an artist and designer, and today I'm going to show you how to put together this really cute 3D card featuring mushrooms and butterflies. So let's get into it. Here you see I have all my pieces cut, and I'm going to start by gluing this white layer that creates those clouds to the back, the very back layer. This also creates a space for you to write a little note or letter to the recipient. So this is going to go right on the back. It does not go edge to edge. You will have just a little bit of border all the way around. I put glue just on the bottom just to make sure until I get it right where I want it, and then I will add glue to that top area. And there you see that all completed, and now I'm going to just set that aside and get started on all these little elements of the card. And you will see me start to just dry fit everything. I like to dry fit all these pieces before I start gluing, because I have been known to glue things and going the wrong direction. So I like to be careful and just get everything dry fit, and then I will start gluing all these little elements together. And you'll see me continue with these little mushrooms. And there's 3 mushrooms, and there's 2 butterflies in this card. And once I'm happy with that, I will start gluing. So with those mushrooms, the little ones look like they're the same size, and they are not. One is just a little bit smaller than the other one. The smallest mushroom will go in the very back layer of the card, and the one that is the little bit bigger is on the middle size. So when you're putting these together, if something isn't like feeling like it's quite fitting, you might have those pieces mixed up. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, they're very easy to put together. So I'm going to start by putting this big mushroom together. I'm going to put glue on the back of the red, and then put that onto the yellow, and then that makes those cute little dots, spots on the mushrooms appear. And I'll just fiddle with that and make sure I've got that lined up as best I can. And once I'm happy with that, then I will glue it to the green background layer of this largest mushroom. I'll get that in place, and then I will move on to the stem. The stem on this large mushroom is 2 pieces. It's a dark layer and then a lighter layer to kind of create a shadow. So I'm going to put that dark stem piece down first, and then I will put the lighter gray piece on top, and that creates a nice detail and dimension to the mushroom. So we'll get some glue on that, and then I will set that aside as soon as I'm happy with how that looks. And that one is going to go on that back layer there. So next I'm going to work on this large butterfly. The yellow layer just glues right on top of the orange layer, and that creates those 2 orange spots on the butterfly's wing. So I will get a little bit of glue on that layer, and then fiddle with that, make sure I'm happy that I've got all those 2 layers aligned. And then I will glue the little body in place. It's easy. You don't have to, but I like to use my little tweezers for these small pieces like the butterfly's body. So I get that on there, and then that butterfly is done. And now I will move on to one of the small mushrooms. Now the small mushrooms, you don't have that green layer. So you have the dark gray, and then you have the light gray to create the little shadow on the stem. Otherwise it's the same. So this red top is going to go right over the yellow to create those little dots, spots on the cap. And then you have that little light gray stem piece to kind of, you can see there, creates that little shadow and dimension on the mushroom. And I like to get that piece down first. And then I will glue the cap right on over that. And I think these little mushrooms are pretty cute. So we'll get that down. You could, switch up the colors a little bit on these. If you wanted it to look like a more fall card, you could do more muted colors on the mushrooms and maybe more browns and oranges on the butterflies. This medium, well, it's not really medium, but it's a little bit bigger than the small one, goes together exactly like the small one. So I didn't leave that in. And now this little butterfly goes together just like the bigger one. And for some reason, I did leave that in. Now with this one, the body is pretty tiny, so the tweezers make that a lot easier to get on and get it placed on that little butterfly. This little butterfly goes on the very front of this card. I love these 3D cards. I think they're so nice to give to people because, they just easily will sit. You can display them so easily on a shelf or next to on your desk or whatever. And I think they're just a lot of fun to make too. So now I'm going to get all the elements in place, and you will see that I have a little bit of a bump out for all three of these elements, so you know exactly where to put them. So I'm going to get this big mushroom in place using that bump out. And then I probably should have put the small butterfly next, butterfly mushroom next, because it does go under the butterfly, but I don't. I use a little bit of foam adhesive on one side of the butterfly, and then I'll use liquid glue on the other. That, since it's going to overlap that big mushroom, that will make it more flush to the card, doing it that way. So I'll get that butterfly, oh my gosh, I can't talk, that butterfly down. And then because I use that foam adhesive, the small mushroom just kind of slides under. But when you're making this, it would probably be easier just to get that small mushroom down first. Okay, so I'm just kind of positioning that, and then I'll get some glue on this one and then get that adhered down. Just like that. And then that back layer is now done. Now I will move on to the middle layer. I'm just showing you again, you have that white area to write a note. And as I'm about to glue this mushroom down, I realized that I wasn't even close with getting that cap of the mushroom lined up with that gray piece at all. So I decided, well, I'm just going to rip it apart and see what happens. Sometimes you get lucky doing this, other times you just completely ruin it. I got lucky, and there would be no visible damage, so I just kept going, peeled off some of the loose cardstock there, adhered more glue to that little cup, and then this time I'm going to pay better attention and get it in the correct position. And then I'm going to use foam adhesive to get this adhered to the card, and that just gives a little pop, a little bit more dimension to this cute card. And once we are done with this, then we will move on to that that very front piece. So that mushroom's just going to go right there in place. Love it. And now I will set that aside and work on this front layer. So the front layer has this black rectangle piece that's just going to go right behind, and it should completely line up to the very bottom and the sides. So just get glue down like I'm doing, and then line up the bottom, and you should be good. It should be in the perfect position. So I get that down, and then I'm going to flip it over and just kind of shimmy that, make sure no black is showing through on the sides or the bottom. And there we go. And then that creates that sentiment. Now I have the little butterfly. I'm also going to use some foam adhesive on this. You don't have to, totally up to you, but I thought that it was a nice touch to get that. I kept getting these just absolutely stuck to me today. I think that's just a nice touch to have that popped up. So then you have the center of your O. So if you're wondering what that little oval is, that's what that is when you cut this out with this grass piece. And that's going to go right there in the O. And that makes that sentiment look a lot nicer. I'm just trying to get that straight. And then we have the body of our ladybug. And I'm going to get some glue on the back side of the ladybug, and then get that in position using my tweezers. And I think that looks really cute. There you go. So now we will construct this card. So on the left side, the tab, you see one tab is angled and one tab goes straight across. The angled tab on the left, you're going to fold forward. The other one, you're going to fold backwards. The angled tab is going to line right up with that score line and the angle of that background layer. And you can see me kind of push that up just to make sure that I'm in the right position. And then I also want to make sure that it's going straight on the bottom. And once I'm happy with that, I put glue on the other side, and then I just fold that tab from the back layer over, and I'm going to hold that for a couple seconds, and then voila, we've got our center layer. Okay, and I'm just trying to get up little pieces of glue and whatnot, I guess. So now I'm going to get this front layer on. I put a little glue on the little tabs that I folded inward, and I'm going to hold that for a couple seconds. I'm going to make sure that it's kind of straight across at the bottom. I'm going to put glue on the other side, and then this card is done. Thank you so much for watching. If you purchased this card, thank you for supporting my art. I truly appreciate it. If you're interested in purchasing, all the links are in my profile. Available on my Etsy shop, Denise Levy Studio, and the Silhouette Design Store. I think this is just a really fun card, and I think anyone would be happy to receive it. Have a wonderful day.